You might already be a customer of Alibaba or might be using products that are sourced from the platform. But wait, how is that? Well, the protective case on your phone right now might be a product that was originally ordered from Alibaba in bulk and sold to you by someone else. That's how Alibaba is already influencing the way how products are manufactured and distributed. Alibaba has always been very instrumental for anybody who wants to source goods from Asia, which was previously limited to global businesses only. But what exactly is the success recipe of Alibaba? Is it still the cheapest wholesaler on our planet? Well, that's what we find out in this video today, so make sure to stick around till the end to know a lot more about how Alibaba is able to sell products so cheap. Alibaba, for those of you who don't know, is an e-commerce platform that built its reputation by offering affordable goods which are typically sold in bulk and are a lot less expensive for buyers because they can work directly with the suppliers via Alibaba's online marketplace. To understand the secret behind Alibaba's success and lower price tags, you need to take a look at how they got to where they are today and how they make their money. Alibaba was created by a man who has impacted the entire economy in the internet industry of China almost single-handedly, and his life is nothing less than an inspirational story to many future entrepreneurs. The history of Alibaba goes way back to 1999 when founder Jack Ma, along with 17 others, launched Alibaba in his apartment. But what's with the name Alibaba for an e-commerce platform? Before the existence of the e-commerce platform, Alibaba was the name that was associated with the Middle Eastern folk story collection 1001 Nights. Jack Ma got his inspiration for his e-commerce project from here, as he thought Alibaba is a very popular name because almost everyone's familiar with the name, and this familiarity might have helped the platform to be what it is today. So who is Jack Ma? Well, you might already know by now that Jack Ma is the founder of the e-commerce giant Alibaba, and he's also a stakeholder in Alipay, a payment portal and the sister company of the e-commerce giant. He was once the richest man in China with an estimated net worth of $25 billion a few years ago. Today, Jack Ma is still in the top 10 list of wealthiest people in China with a net worth of $34.1 billion US. Jack Ma currently holds about 4.8% stake in Alibaba and a 50% stake in Alipay. You might expect Jack Ma's story to resemble the story of a typical arrogant rich millionaire who hasn't seen the dark days, but his story is quite different. Ma didn't have anything easy in his life to get to where he is today. Jack Ma is one of those self-made billionaires with very humble beginnings. He was born in Hangzhou in the southeastern part of China. His parents were traditional musicians and storytellers, and they didn't have enough money to even make it to the middle class back in the day. When former US President Richard Nixon visited Hangzhou in 1972, which improved the situation of tourism in his hometown and lit a spark in Jack Ma, which forced him to make the most out of his opportunity. Jack Ma graduated with a bachelor's degree in English and worked as an English teacher at Hangzhou University for just $12 a month. Ma faced a series of rejections and failed several times during his early childhood. Jack failed in his primary school examinations not once but twice. He also failed twice in his middle school exams. When he was applying for universities after high school, he failed the entrance exam twice before joining the Hangzhou Normal University. He even applied to go to Harvard about 10 times, and you guessed it, he got rejected again. It took him 3 years to get into a university, and right after his bachelor's degree, he failed to land a job after applying more than 30 times. He once said in an interview that when KFC came to China, about 24 people went for the job, 23 were accepted, and he was rejected. He was also one of the 5 applicants for a job in the police force, and as usual, he was the only one who got rejected after being told that he wasn't good enough. But failures became a routine as Jack Ma failed 2 of his initial ventures. But nothing stopped him from having high dreams, so he decided to overcome the pain of rejection and treat rejections just like a new opportunity to learn and grow. This made Jack Ma who he is today. The journey of Alibaba began when he visited the US in 1995 for a government project related to the building of highways. Jack Ma was surprised when he was introduced to the world of internet and computers, because computers were not a common sight in China due to high costs and lack of internet. When he searched for beer using a search engine, he was greeted with several results from different countries, but China was almost non-existent. That's when he decided he wanted to put China on the map of the World Wide Web for people to see. Jack Ma then ended up convincing 17 of his other friends to invest in his new e-commerce startup, which is now known as Alibaba. The company had its early days in his apartment. During the early days, they didn't have a single penny as investment from outside investors, but they later ended up raising $20 million from SoftBank and another $5 million from Goldman Sachs in 1999. This is a true rags-to-riches story, something that would inspire you even during your darkest days. The internet was still a very new thing for people of China. As a result, an online system of payment and package transfer needed to be convincing enough for Jack Ma to build the trust of the Chinese people. So it's time to answer the question, is Alibaba still the cheapest wholesaler out there right now? If yes, how do they manage to sell products at such an affordable price point? Well, it looks like Alibaba is still the platform for anyone looking forward to buying products in bulk from China. This is because China is already the world's manufacturing hub, with most of the things that you use today coming from China. Alibaba generates revenue from paid advertising, online market opportunities, commission on transactions paid by sellers, membership fees, and storefront fees for sellers that operate a storefront. The focus of Alibaba has always been to create a space for manufacturers to sell their products in bulk to other small businesses, and those businesses can then resell those Alibaba products elsewhere in the world. Alibaba also reduces operating costs by not stocking inventories or providing warehouses. Alibaba manufacturers and wholesalers are able to manage operations just using Alibaba software as the middle person in order to exchange goods and services. This is quite different from how Amazon operates. Of course, Alibaba generates less revenue than Amazon, but with low operating and logistic costs, Alibaba does have the potential to be more agile and scalable as it continues to offer more products and services in the future, catering to a worldwide customer base. Chinese manufacturers typically tend to take advantage of cheap labor. Cost of electricity in China is also a lot more affordable compared to other countries. It could be as much as 400% cheaper than the cost of electricity in the US. This means the cost of production will be on the lower side and goods can be sold with good margins, while also maintaining an affordable price tag. Alibaba also sells products in large quantities, which means the wholesale prices are a lot cheaper if you're purchasing for your business. China has all the suppliers that are needed to create a product at massive scales and low costs. This is exactly what gave Alibaba the competitive advantage compared to other players in this space. Alibaba is building an empire on the spending power of Chinese farmers, laborers, and white-collar workers. Alibaba's growth has continued ever since its record $25 billion in initial public offering in New York in 2014. As of February 2023, Alibaba has a market cap of $272.98 billion. This makes Alibaba the world's 29th most valuable company by market cap according to our scores. When you compare Alibaba with Amazon, Amazon owns 39% of all US e-commerce sales, while Alibaba owns 58.2% of all retail e-commerce shares in China. The annual active consumers on its online shopping properties in China reached 903 million by the first quarter of 2022, increasing from 882 million in the previous quarter. This is just in China alone. Cross-border online purchasing is developing into a trend as consumers become more aware of multinational brands. International shoppers are finding it easier and easier to find goods with high quality and reasonable prices, thanks to convenient electronic payment methods and online shopping platforms. This contributed to Alibaba's success in China and across the world. So it's clear that China now enjoys a monopoly when it comes to producing goods for the entire world at an affordable price. But analysts are of the opinion that China needs to look at India too, because so many companies are shifting their factories to India due to geopolitical tensions and China's relationships with other superpowers. That's it for this video. Do you think there could be an active volcano on Mars? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.